Hi everyone, I'm Carl Azuz and this is CNN Student News. Thank you for taking a vacation from your vacation to check out our latest summer webcast. Today we are focusing on a sensitive and sometimes controversial topic. It's also part of our country's history, from slavery to the civil rights movement. 40 years after Dr. Martin Luther King's death, CNN has launched Black in America. This is a huge project that examines stereotypes and statistics and asks what it means to be Black in America today. These special reports investigate health issues like the devastating toll of HIV and AIDS on the African American community. They also explore the progress of Black men and women in the professional world and the Black middle class. One of the biggest topics that Black in America addresses is education and the disparities between Black and white students. Soledad O'Brien visited a school in New York that's working to close that gap.
Principal Elijah Hawks of the James Baldwin School in New York City says his school has something most principals only dream about, a 94% graduation rate.
The only way one can do this work and do it well is if you believe that a student failing in your class is your responsibility.
It's a new public school made up mostly of transfer students and paid for with taxpayer money. The classes are very small, just 17 seniors last year. But what's most surprising, many of the students were failing out before coming here.
How bad were your grades?
Failed every class.
Really?
Yeah.
So you came here as a failing student. What are your grades now?
It's like B-.
Your graduation rate is significantly higher than the average graduation rate in a New York City public school, with far fewer students, I'll give you, but much higher.
Having your voice heard can equate to passing a class.
Almost half the students are African American. A Harvard University study shows Black children start falling behind academically by age 3. A separate Harvard study found in urban areas the average Black student performs on a level about 4 years below his peers. Over 1 million students attend New York City public schools. About 3/4 are minorities, 70% are impoverished.
For as long as anyone can remember in America, our African American and Latino students are way underperforming white nation students.
Schools like Baldwin are fighting to change that.
I just thought if I was guided the right way, then I would succeed.
The school's success proves size matters.
Small schools are just where it's at, where you can sort of delve into what a student is and who that student is and what they're about, and I think that that's our core.
I had teachers on my butt, and I like that because I never was used to that, and they helped me change to a better person and got me focused.
They realized that we value that they're individuals, and for many of them that's a catalyst for their success here.
They're also helped by mandatory week-long camping trips, where students work to overcome challenges.
There's a lot of pushing and cajoling that leads up to students taking that trip and taking that leap of faith. And it's transformative for so many of them.
So transformative that a once failing student is now planning for college.
I grew up a screw up, so I'm gonna change the pattern. I'm gonna do something for myself. I'm gonna go to school and make something out of my life.
Baldwin isn't the end for these students. Baldwin is a step in the course of their academic career.
Beating the odds by focusing on individual needs. Soledad O'Brien, CNN, New York.
Is this legit? One student drops out of high school every minute. Well, this one's false. It's actually much worse. According to America's Promise Alliance, one American student drops out every 26 seconds.
That adds up to more than 1 million dropouts a year. Only 70% of all high school students graduate in 4 years. That number drops to 50% for Black students. Susan Rosegen reports on a charter school in Chicago that's trying to break that statistic by providing a safe place to learn in a tough part of town.
We believe in ourselves, we believe in each other, we believe in our pride, we believe.
They're chanting, "We believe," but who are they?
I had a real bad attitude towards everybody. I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to do work. It was just hard, and I didn't want to be here.
The odds were never good for 16-year-old D'Angelo Gardner. His father died of a heroin overdose when D'Angelo was 9, and by the 8th grade he was caught up in a gang. D'Angelo was also part of a dire demographic. In Chicago, young black men have the highest school dropout rates. 50%, half of them, will drop out of high school. Only 3% will finish college. And that's not all. So far this year, nearly 30 Chicago public school students have been shot to death. In impoverished neighborhoods like Inglewood, guns and gangs are a part of daily life. But Urban Prep Academy is a safe haven.
We understand.
This is a school for young black men, a glimmer of hope to get them off the streets and into the classroom.
Question mark.
D'Angelo's mother did all she could to get him into Urban Prep. It's a charter school. He and his fellow freshmen entered the school with a 6th grade reading level. 2 years later, they've improved dramatically. D'Angelo says he used to be allergic to homework. Not anymore.
I still have to get my study habits up, but I touch books now.
This is actually another very, very good car.
Teacher Trey Childress has been at the school since day one. He says at first, D'Angelo and his classmates did not have the skills to think critically.
They kind of just wanted to be, sit there and be spoon-fed. Now they want to actively be engaged in discussions. They want to debate each other, and they're really, like I said, performing at a high level as far as their own cognitive abilities.
And it's not just academics the students have embraced. They've also accepted their teachers as role models. Sophomore Marlon Marshall knows he's not alone here.
When they see I'm not working to the best of my abilities, they put me to the side, or they give me extra work and say, this is the level you need to be working on, because this is where I see your ability at.
As in many Chicago public schools, 90% of Urban Prep students come from single-parent, female-headed households.
It's always great when they'll say, my young man was doing this, and I was, pulling my hair out, and now he's helping out around the house, helping out with his little brothers and sisters. He's a little bit, he's more responsible, and that makes you feel really good that now they're living our creed at home. And in the community, that definitely makes our chest stick out a little bit more.
As D'Angelo has changed, he hopes to inspire some of his old friends.
I tell them straight up, like, you have to do something else, not just hang in the neighborhood all the time. There's other things out here.
And Marlon says when you hear opportunity knocking, let it in. He refuses to be a stereotype.
Young black men cannot graduate from high school or go to college. Young black men are better off in jail. They fall under that statistic because they don't have a motivational push to stop them from doing whatever the things they are doing to get them into that status.
And motivation is just what they get at Urban Prep.
We believe in each other. We believe in Urban Prep. We believe.
Susan Rosejan, CNN, Chicago.
If you missed the most recent Black in America specials, The Black Woman and Family and The Black Man, we will be re-airing those programs. Go to cnn.com/blackinamerica for air dates and times. While you're there, check out our discussion guide. It has questions and activities that parents can use to help young people understand the issues facing Black America.
Being Black in America, it just means being beautiful, embracing oneself, loving oneself, and just being true to yourself.
It means being able to overcome adversity.
Holding yourself at a higher standard. We are a part of a minority group in the United States of America. That means we have to work harder, fight harder, and actually hold ourselves at a higher standard and treat ourselves with respect in order to move forward.
It's like a famous quote goes, is being a spectator at your own lynching. Not to say that it's all negative, but honestly, being Black in America, you have to locate a pride within yourself that stems from struggle. And that pride can then lead to power, which can then lead to revolution.
I think it's time for us as a country to unite and stop talking about Black America and white America and become an American, a country of one.
All right, some thoughts there from students at HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities. Earlier this year, CNN traveled to some of the country's most well-known HBCUs and held a campus iReporter contest. Participants were challenged to create their own videos about what it means to be Black in America. The winning entry came from Travers Johnson, a senior at Morehouse College. His iReport examined whether it's a good time to be young and Black in America. You can find his video in the Spotlight section on our homepage, and head to our blog to share your thoughts on today's program, which has reached its end. We've got one more summer webcast to go. We will see you then from CNNStudentNews.com.